For the past several years, AI has been the next technology frontier, and it made a lot of people rich. And that door is still open, but another one just opened right behind it, and that's in the space race. And the names that are powering it are already exploding. And the biggest catalyst yet is almost here in a couple of weeks with SpaceX going public. And when that happens, two things are going to play out all at once. The picks and the shovels behind the space race are going to do great no matter what. And some of the crowded favorites they're going to start to pull back the moment that SpaceX is finally something that you can actually buy. So in today's video, I'm just going to walk through the names that I think are still built to win either way. And for the bigger ones that might stumble along the way, and I'm going to share the exact entry points that at least I'm watching for myself before the move even happens. But real quick, before we dive in, it's just a reminder that I'm not a financial advisor, and everything that I do in this video is for educational purposes. And if you're new to the channel, I spent years in corporate America, and I made some very great investments along the way, enough so that I was able to retire at the age of 46. And I started this channel so that I could share with you that experience. Unlike most YouTubers, I'm not doing this to get rich. I already did that with my investments. But if you want access to my real-time stock trades and my portfolio, then please feel free to join the community with Patreon and my newsletter linked below. So let's get right into it, and I'm going to start with the names that I think are built to win either way. The first one is CACI International. I'm just going to call it CACI, and most people know them as a government technology and intelligence contractor, the company that builds the cybersecurity and the data systems for the federal government and the Pentagon. But CACI has quietly turned into a real space company because they bought a business called ARKA that makes the electro-optical sensors and the autonomous software flying on low Earth orbit satellites. And they build one of the few American-made laser terminals that let those satellites talk to each other in space. So this is truly a picks and shovels name in the truest sense, where they win every time a satellite goes up, no matter whose rocket carried it. And here's what really tells the story, because while everyone chases the flashy names, CACI is the rare space play that has actually printed a profit every single year for 2 decades, throwing off around $500 million a year now, and sitting on a backlog worth more than 3 years worth of revenue that's already signed. So yeah, it's essentially a profit machine wearing space stocks clothing. So if I'm looking to get into CACI, I'm comfortable right around the low 500s where it trades at right now, because it's sitting below where I value the business. And since this is a picks and shovels name and not SpaceX competitor, I don't expect the listing to knock it down much at all. The entire space economy, SpaceX and every company building around it, they all run on one metal more than most people realize: silver. It's the best electrical conductor on Earth, which is why it sits inside satellites, solar cells, and the AI data centers that are powering all of it. And that brings us to today's sponsor, Kootenai Silver, with the ticker symbol KOOYF, one of the few pure play silver companies that are out there. They own 4 silver deposits in Mexico, sitting on 214 million ounces of silver equivalent in the measured and indicated category, one of the largest resources of any junior explorer. Now, here's where Eric Sprott comes in. The billionaire just landed on the cover of Forbes for holding 98% of his net worth in gold and silver, and he owns roughly 4% of Kootenai shares. He first bought for the first time in 2019, and he added even more at about $4 Canadian, more than double what today's price is, and he's still holding it. That's real conviction. He sees silver running to $150 to $300, and Bank of America calls for $135 to $309 an ounce. Kootenai Silver raised 18 million Canadian in February, near $1.60, and the stock trades roughly 35% below that today, with 70,000 meters of drilling planned this year, and they're fully funded. For reference, this is one of the largest drilling programs of any silver company that's out there. Analyst targets from June 2025 sit near Canadian 270 and 280, while silver is up over 100% since then. Kootenai shares are 50% below those targets, and it's 35% its most recent financing. 50% below the analyst targets, and it's more than 50% below what a billionaire paid for it, while silver itself just keeps climbing. That's the kind of dislocation that investors are looking for, and silver is critical for both AI and the space race that's just now beginning. Please do your own due diligence on Kootenai Silver and check out the link down in the description. Now let's get into the bigger names, the ones that could stumble when SpaceX lists. And I'll start with Rocket Lab, which is the closest thing that we have to a public version of SpaceX. SpaceX because they build and they launch their own rockets with Electron, and they have a bigger rocket on the way called Neutron, and more than half their business now comes from building satellites and space systems for other people. The growth here is pretty staggering because Rocket Lab has grown its revenue more than 10 times over in about 6 years. And here's where I get careful though, because it still does not make money. The losses are actually getting bigger as they pour cash into Neutron, and the company just opened the door to selling up to $3 billion of its own stock over time. So you have the company itself being a major seller at the same time that SpaceX is going to list. So the price that I'm watching for myself is going to be well below where it is today. In fact, I'm looking more like the low 90s, which is roughly a third of where it is today, and given that it competes directly with SpaceX, a move like that is very much on the table once SpaceX lands. Next is AST SpaceMobile, and this is the boldest swing in the whole basket because they're building satellites that beam normal cell signal straight down to the phone that you already have in your pocket. So there's absolutely no special hardware that's needed. They've already gotten the FCC to clear them for 248 satellites, and they have working hardware in orbit proving that you really can reach an ordinary phone from space. But here's the reality that you need to respect. Because for all the promises, AST is still barely bringing in any revenue, while it burns through hundreds of millions of dollars a year. So right now you're buying a vision and not even a whole business. And this is the stock with the most exposure to the listing of anyone else here, because AST both competes directly with Starlink for that same phone, and it depends on SpaceX to launch its satellites in the first place. I'd like to get the chance to go in at around the low 80s, which I think is a lot closer to reality given how tied it is to SpaceX on both sides. So in my opinion, I think that pullback is very much in play. And now I'll move on to Redwire, and this is one that you've probably heard about from several other YouTubers. Redwire builds the actual infrastructure that goes on satellites and space stations, solar arrays, the avionics, the docking hardware, and they recently added a defense drone business on top of all of that. So on the surface, the growth looks incredible because Redwire has grown its revenue more than 15 times over in about 6 years. But the profits are moving the wrong way because the losses have completely ballooned over the last couple of years. And they fund a lot of that growth by printing new shares, which I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, Redwire is firmly on my list, but the level that I'm watching for is closer to around $13 or $14. And whether or not it gets there truly depends on how these crowded names react when SpaceX comes on board. Now on to the next company, which is the most mispriced name in the entire basket, with Karman Holdings, which makes the physical guts that go inside missiles, rockets, and solid rocket motor nozzles, the payload fairings, and the inner stages, with parts that end up in the Patriot, the Stinger, and also the Javelin. Now here was the data point that really grabbed me. Karman has more than doubled its revenue in just 3 years, and it did something that almost nobody else in this basket has pulled off, because it flipped from losing money to a real profit, and it's grown that profit every year since, more than quadrupling it in just 3 years. And the kicker is the price, because Karman trades up around the upper 50s right now, which is barely half of what I think the business is actually worth. The thing driving it is its Pentagon missile spending, not the SpaceX listing. Like, the hype isn't driving it. So this is truly a picks and shovels name that I'm comfortable owning right now, right here at the price that it's at. So when you take a step back, this whole basket really comes down to a single question, which is whether a company actually needs SpaceX to win, or whether it wins no matter what SpaceX does in the first place. Is it driven by hype or not? CACI and Karman, they happen to be the two that, in my mind, they win either way, because they already make real money. And what drives them is satellites going up and missiles getting built. It's not whether or not you can finally buy SpaceX on the market. That's why they're the two that I'm the most comfortable buying into right now. And the rest of these names, the Rocket Labs and the ASTs and the Redwires, they're all real companies too, but they're all in a very crowded space, and they're still burning through their cash like crazy. So when the easy money rotates into SpaceX, those are probably going to be the ones that are going to pull back the hardest. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like these businesses. At the end of the day, I just want a better price, which is exactly why I walk through the levels that I'm watching for on each one. Because the way that I see it, the headlines for the next several weeks, they're all going to be about SpaceX. Who am I kidding? It's been there for a while. But to me, the real opportunity is how the money is going to be moving around it. That's going to be the companies that quietly power the space race that just keep on winning. And of course, those crowded favorites, they may finally hand us a better entry than the rally has been giving us for a very long time. Either way, I think that all of us can come out way ahead as long as we're buying the business and not just the hype. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.